Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Faith-Based Workplace YouTube channel. Coming back to you again with another video. This week's topic is going to be don't be a fool. And we're dealing in the workplace, of course, because that's what we deal with. It's where faith and work intersect. So once again, this topic is don't be a fool. And I have a couple of Bible verses that I'll break down. So let's just get right into this one. First, stop trusting people at work. You know, you have people at work that I know you want to tell your business to, and you want to share, things with them that might be going on, with you at home and everything. I disagree with that. I think you shouldn't, tell people things that's going on with you. Try to leave, some of your personal things against you, especially when you're dealing, with a narcissist. Or it ain't even got to be a narcissist. It could just be somebody that, you might not know that good. You never know what that person is going to do with that information moving forward. So, I say don't. I don't. I try not to share too much personal information. You just keep it surface level and, just watch. Don't be a fool about things and, you share too much and then they try to use these things against you. Try to avoid that. Let's define what a fool is, the definition of a fool. A person who acts unwisely and just a silly person. It's self-explanatory. That was taken straight from Google. It's not a hard definition, just somebody that acts unwise. So I'm pretty sure you come across a lot of people at work or in your day-to-day life. Something, they're acting silly. And I'm not just talking about just the comedians or jokes or things like that, like Kevin Hart's or nothing like that. I'm not saying, comedians. I'm just saying people that are just silly in nature and never, you ever had that person that they're never serious about anything? Anything. Like at work, you're trying to set up for this presentation you have on Friday. It's Thursday, so you're in a time crunch and you're trying to get everything, you dot your I's and cross your T's, last minute things. And this guy, this woman is just being silly. And you're like, what are you doing? So, you want to remove that negativity, out of your area. Remember I said last week about the circle of trust? Just, your circle of trust probably going to have to be kind of small. It don't need to be a big circle. You don't need 50 people in your circle of trust. If you have that many, cool. Most people don't. It's like 3, 4, 5 people, maybe no more than 10, something like that. I got a question for you, and it's, not nothing you can answer obviously on YouTube. Would you tell your coworkers, some of your personal secrets? Just think about it. This person that you've been knowing for however long you've been knowing them, a few weeks or months or whatever, would you really tell them like one of your deep secrets? Maybe something from childhood, maybe something that's going on currently with you and your wife, maybe just something that's going on with you, personally. So when you think about it that way, don't be a fool about it, telling these people these different secrets and stuff. So me, I can't say that I would tell them my business at work. So just a word of wisdom or caution. Stop telling people your business at work again. Everyone don't need to know everything about you. I know we have, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these things, and we want to share our locations and we want to share what we doing and share what we had on vacation and share. You don't need to tell all these people all your business. You don't need to tell them at work. You don't need to tell them everything that you have going on at home with your wife and kids. You don't need to tell them where you're going to eat at and how much you paying. People are already nosy anyway by nature. Most people are curious. We can go curious instead of nosy. You don't want to be too harsh, but let's call it a spade. So some of these people, it's no need in sharing all this information with them. Stop being on Instagram and Facebook and sharing all this information with you, and you wonder why, the next week, like they trying to copy off me. Are they really copying off you? You telling them what you just did. You told them the vacation. You told them you went to Hawaii, with you and your husband and your kids and all that. And then you wonder why 2 months later, they're in Hawaii. And you got the audacity to say they're copying off me. No, you're being a fool because you're sharing all this information on Facebook and Twitter and everything else. Makes no sense. So, come on now. That's the pot calling the kettle black. Okay. If you're intelligent, don't be a fool around people. You want to exuberate. You want to be intelligent around people. You want to have a certain glow about you. Last week I brought up faith. Your faith and your godly presence and the way you carry yourself around people, that should be what people know you by. It shouldn't be, oh, that's Solomon, here come this fool. No, you're a man of God, woman of God, child of God. That should be what people know you by. That should, when you coming down the hallway or, pulling up in the parking lot, man, I go, Solomon, man, that guy is cool. He's always there for me, friendly, talk about God. I'm learning. Maybe this person don't know a lot about God. Maybe they share. You're able to share that with them. That's being wise and having wise counsel with these people. So just think about that. When you're at work. We're gonna bring in our first Bible verse. Again, I'm telling you, Proverbs is becoming one of my favorite books in the Bible. It really is. I'm all over Proverbs, just coming up with different verses. I'm like, man, I didn't even know that was in there. But this verse is Proverbs 14 and 3. So chapter 14, verse 3. I'll read it right quick. A fool's proud talk becomes a rod that beats him, but the words of the wise keep them safe. Let that marinate for a while. Let's think about that. What they just said. Proverbs 14 and 3. If you want to go back and read that and study that a little bit. Basically, a fool says and does stupid stuff, but wise people know when to keep their mouth closed. I'm just trying to bring it as dumb it down as best as I can so we all can be on the same page. Sometimes the Bible, they say different things and we don't exactly know, what's going on, but I wanted to dumb it down as much as I could. So people just say stupid stuff. They do stupid things. They take scriptures and they twist them up, don't really know, the Bible. And hey, they have some pastors that do that. I'm not going to name names. Not yet, at least. I'm not naming names now. Maybe I never will. We don't know. But anyway, they take these verses and they twist them up and try to deceive us. So we're doing that, when we talk about work and we talk about the Bible, we talk about God, we're talking about a lot of things on this channel. We want to make sure we're not being a fool about things. We understand these verses for ourselves. Again, you don't have to listen to me. It's best to take the Bible, take the Bible, take your Bible, and read it. Read exactly what I just said, and get a better understanding. You may have a different version. I have King James versions, and you have different versions of the Bible. But read that so you can get an understanding of what's going on. Even when you're at church, just because the pastor tells you something, you got to realize some of these pastors will say things and twist it up, and you really don't know what's going on. Like the one thing. I'm not going to go off on a tangent. I'm just going to say something real quick. They like to talk about tithes and offering, tithes and offering, tithes and offering. Tithes and offering is not always just about money. It's about time. It's about things you do at the church. It's about things you do just with people in general, how you treat people. It's a lot of things with tithes and offerings. It's not all about the money and building a church and this, that, and other. Just do a little study on that. So let's move right along. Do you believe hanging around foolish people can make you a better person? Think about that. You're hanging around somebody that acts crazy or, we like to use the word stupid or ignorant or sometimes they arrogant, depending on what's going on. But do you think that makes you a better person? I'm going to answer that for you and say probably not. Now, do you have silly friends sometimes and do silly things every once in a while? I can see that, but you don't want to have a whole circle of friends that are just doing stupid things, doing foolish things that, especially at work, horse playing at work. Remember, I come from the safety field, so horse playing at work, that's probably something that's foolish and something that shouldn't be tolerated by you or the people around you. So let's make sure that we, at work, we're doing things safely. I always bring safety up. Let's make sure things are safe and make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, taking care of people that's around us. Let's just make sure of that before we, get into other things. Moving right along. Are you dealing with a narcissist manager or coworker? Avoid doing foolish things around them. The reason why I'm saying that, because think about it. You're doing foolish things around them, such, saying, maybe talking about them to another coworker and thinking that coworker might not tell that manager or go back and tell the other coworker. Well, that's foolish when you think about it. You shouldn't talk about people in period, but you shouldn't talk about your manager or another coworker at work because maybe these people might use that against you at some point. So I would call it a foolish move. It's not smart at all, and it shouldn't be, it should be something that you should consider. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Go and tell your wife. Tell one of your friends that don't work with you, or your cousins, or somebody like that, somebody you're cool with, or a real cool friend that that you don't work with. It's not necessarily smart to tell a coworker. It might come back to bite you. Just think about that. It's something foolish. Moving right along, we think of fools usually like from old movies where you had a king and they got a little foolish person that be dancing around a little clown on, or they there to entertain the king. That's kind of how we associate. That's how I usually associate. And some people think, when they think about fool, they think of something like that, or they might think about, some of the Bible verses I mentioned with fool, and it's mentioned in fool in the Bible. Don't be the fool. Don't be the little silly person that's running around with the king or a supervisor, or always that person that we can depend on to be an idiot. I'm stopping and pausing on purpose. Think about that. Don't be the person at work that we can depend on to be an idiot. Why am I saying that? Because, well, look at it this way. If you're looking for that raise, or you're looking for the promotion, and you always being an idiot or being a fool, do you really think you're gonna get that? I mean, just because you got a degree doesn't mean anything sometimes. Just because of who you know might not help you out either if you're doing foolish things. I mean, just think about it. Just make sure you're doing what you need to do, being positive, not being negative, not being foolish, not being stupid or ignorant, or any of those other things that we can consider. Make sure you're doing things the right way, And I'm talking about at work, but it's at home too. We delve into home, back and forth too. Don't be a fool at home. Men, women, come on. Let's be smart about things that we have going on. If you're doing something stupid at home, don't bring that stupidity to work. Okay. Moving right along. I want to harp on that, but I want to get I want to get into y'all, don't be a fool. That's in any situation, not just at work. Although I'm talking about work, it's not just at work. Next, do you want to have people at work looking at you like that? Like you're being, foolish, like I just said about the king and the little foolish person, or always clowning. Probably not in a work environment. Not in a work environment. Unless you're a comedian or something, it's probably not how you want people to remember you or think of you when they think of, oh, it's Solomon. Oh yeah, that's that dumb dude. That's that foolish guy. It's probably not how you want to be remembered. So let's think about that. Let's move along. And use your head, use some common sense. Use that. We can't continue to let people use us at work. That's another thing about being foolish. When I say use you, what I'm saying is like using you for time. They not respectful of your time. So again, I always talk about this, back and forth. You got that manager, you get off work, respect your time. Don't be foolish about that. You're there to do a job, but don't be foolish about, things like that. Your ideas and maybe how you dress, and people are snickering, in the background. That's not middle school or high school. It's a job that you work at. No matter if it's your first job or your 8th job, it doesn't matter. That's something you shouldn't take, so you should stand up for yourself. You don't want to be foolish about that. You do it the right way. You have to tell them something, do it in a nice, ugly way, or do it in a nice way, or, if you have to go to human resources, use your chain of command, however you need to do it, but protect yourself and don't be foolish about that. We're getting into the next verse, Proverbs 14, 7 and 8. So it's 2 verses on this one. So I'm going to read them right quick. Stay away from fools, for you won't find knowledge on their lips. Verse 8. The prudent understand where they are going, but fools deceive themselves. Just think about that. So it's telling you right here in the verse, stay away from foolish people. Stay away from fools. That's people that's not of God. That's people that's not doing things how you do it. That's people that maybe they don't want to talk about the Bible ever. Now, am I saying, just showers, don't talk to them at all? No, because you still want to at least make an attempt to try to share the word with them, talk about Jesus. Because remember, we always want to bring people back to Christ. So we want to bring people, and let them understand and let them know. And the best way to let them know is let them know what God has done for you. So yeah, you want to try to do that, but don't continue to do that. After a few tries, a couple of attempts, some people only give you one try. Maybe after 2 or 3, don't be a fool about it. Go ahead and move on and be like, okay, this person is just not getting it. They don't want to get it, So again, that's Proverbs 14, verse 7 and 8. And the first verse, again, it was Proverbs 14 and 3. Moving right along. Fools try their hardest to lie. The upper management, with false degrees, might have fake job history, just things made up. So when I'm saying fool, it's just more like a compulsive liar. So people do all kind of things to get into positions. They're not really qualified, and you can find it out easily. If it's a bunch of apples, using a bunch of apples, you can pretty much figure out the orange. It's a different color. They don't fit. They don't fit the mold. So it's the same thing when you're a Christian and you're at work and you talking about God and doing this. Some people are not gonna like that. That's fine. That is fine. Continue doing you. Continue doing what you have to do. Listening to your gospel music, praying at work, whatever you need to do. Find your place of peace and calmness. Continue doing that. So don't worry about those people. You cast those doubts and those fears and those concerns onto God, and you keep moving. Say a quick prayer for them. That's what I've been working on lately. And I used to tell people back then, I pray for you. Sometimes you forget. You say it, you got the business of the day and things happen, you forget. So now when I say I pray for you, whether it's online or in person, I try to say a quick prayer for you right then. That way I don't forget. Okay. In the end, that lies gonna catch up with them. Meaning, if this person is lying or doing these different things, it's gonna catch up with them. It's that old saying, what goes on in the dark comes to the light. Think about how many times you caught somebody in a lie, whether it's at home or at work. You caught somebody in a lie. And they might have been doing it for months, maybe even years. And they're like, Solomon, man, but they're getting away with it for so long. My question to you is, are they really getting away with it? If God knows all, sees all, He know what we're gonna do. You're not getting away with it. He know what they're doing. He know they lying on the job. He know they lying on you at the job. He knows all these things. He know that they lied on their resume to get that job. So at the end of the day, no, they're not really getting away with anything. It's gonna come back to, God, let God deal with that. You don't worry about, you don't concern yourself with that. Now don't let them, beat you up over it. Again, don't be a fool about it. Y'all both going for a position, they lying about things. You might want to step up and say something like, especially if it's between you and them as the last person, they flat out lying. Yeah, you might want to say something then. And that's the end of this video. Went a little quicker. Last thing I need to say, don't be a fool. Call on God. Pray, pray for people, to have wisdom, to not be foolish. Do like Solomon did. Not me. Talking about Solomon in the Bible. I did do this too though, so I did do that. But pray to God and ask for wisdom. So you won't be called labeled a fool. Pray for wisdom. Ask Him to show you in a vision or in a dream like He did Solomon in the Bible. And recognize, when He's talking to you, recognize that voice, that you hear in your head that, this is God speaking to me. This is the Holy Spirit talking to me. This is what I need to hear. So don't be a fool. It's so many stories on the internet and things going on that you see a lot of foolish things. And I try not to name people. I'm trying not to, but I know at some point I'm going to have to start naming things so I know exactly what I'm talking about. Now I can do subliminal and you might be able to figure it out, but everything don't need to be a riddle or a puzzle. So at some point I'm going to have to start naming some of these people so you be like, oh, that's who he's talking about. But yeah, it's a lot of foolish things going on the internet. I see it on Instagram, see it on Facebook. So just pay attention, to what's going on, especially at work in a work environment. You want to pay attention to what's going on around you. Once again, this is Faith-Based Workplace YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button, the little bell. Go ahead and click that. And then you can like it, you can comment. Always looking for comments. So hey, I'm telling y'all to comment. I'll comment back. We can start a dialogue on there. And share with your friends. We steadily growing. We're growing, pretty decently. Small. I'm not, where I want to be. But hey, in due time, it's all in God timing. So just remember that. To all y'all that's watching, I appreciate you. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the likes and the comments that I already received and the ones that's coming. So God bless you. And then to everybody, be blessed.